Today is March 16, 2025. Happy Sunday to all of you guys, and I hope you guys are doing fine. So, today, let's discuss the US foreign policy in Africa. So, I'm going to start with South Africa. Right now, the relationship between South Africa and US is not looking good, given the fact that South Africa is a major player in Africa. They have bigger economy, which US also interests in South Africa. So one of the major problems right now between the South Africa and the Trump administration or the US is that the proposal South Africa made a month ago that they will start distributing land among the South African people. By the way, majority portion of land in South Africa owned by the white national, which, by the way, they are also South African. So the government of South Africa look at this is unfair to native South Africans, because we are talking about Africa. And by the way, don't get me wrong, I'm not a anti-white national or anti-America. I'm just gonna put the record here. So, what are we talking about? The Trump administration banned the South African ambassador that he will no longer be accepted in the United States. Where all this starts? The South Africa government designed a program to start distributing land among the South African people. When I say South Africa people, the origin people of South Africa. The white national, we all know the history, which I don't really want to go into that. But if you check in South Africa, majority land owned by the white national, which this bring a lot of controversy around the South African people. So the government of South Africa decide to design a program that they can share land among the South African people so that they also can benefit in their own country. So this particular issue bring serious issue between the United States and South Africa, and mainly Donald Trump, because Donald Trump have interest in the white national in South Africa. And Donald Trump also go ahead said this is unfair to the minority group, because that's how he called them. So going forward, Donald Trump stopped aid to go into South Africa. That's how the diplomatic relationship start deteriorating, and now even more by banning the South Africa ambassador into the United States. So, how US foreign policy shaping in Africa? If you ask my own opinion, the US foreign policy in Africa, nothing much to talk about. That's why you see other major players in Africa looking another alternative way so that they can drive to Russia or China. So, given the context that I have already built up, my solution to this problem is, as an African, as a leader in Africa, they need to rethink and start creating environment that can suitable for Africans. Days ago, we saw a document proposed, which is not yet verified, but proposed that the Trump administration designed series of ban or visa restriction. I think 43 African country or nation around the world. So this raises a question: how you want to build a relationship with Africa, but you will just wake up in the morning and slam ban on country that you feel like you don't have interest in some of this country, or just because they don't buy into what you want them to do. And I feel like diplomatic relationship should not be working that way. So these are the problems we are facing in Africa, and I feel like one day our leaders will rethink and start preparing us in better way, so that we can create our own economic zone and we will stop relying on these people. When you rely on somebody to give you aid, he always have edge over you. He will decide how to plan yourself, how to do things. The moment we start realizing that as a African, or our leaders start realizing to find alternative way how to manage our own wealth in Africa, the moment Africa become a better place. And I hope one day our leaders will think about this. Thank you, and see you in the next video.